So Ashley, this week we are bringing an update that I know I am so excited about, and that is that finally, the WNBA is going to have charter flights.
You want to do a round of applause real quick?
My gosh, can we insert a round of applause? Like,
this is me round of applauding.
We need
It's a one-person clap, so it doesn't sound that loud, but it's pretty loud in my head.
oh my gosh. So Kathy Engelbert, she came on and she said yesterday, hey, we're gonna get charter flights. And it was kind of out of nowhere. People didn't even know it was happening clearly, because a lot of coaches and front office staff and everything, they responded like, well, it's about time. Thank you. Like, they literally didn't have any ideas. So this was clearly something that was just decided on. It's going to be $25 million to have all the chartered flights. And to me, money well spent, because there have been so many security issues over the years. Just having athletes that are on these back-to-backs, games, having to sleep in airports. I mean, we're talking about the top, women's basketball players in the world that are having to deal with things that they shouldn't have and that impede their play and their safety, right? And so having these charter flights is long overdue. Definitely, in my opinion, late. Absolutely late. But I'm very, very excited nonetheless that all of these amazing athletes, all these amazing women are going to be safe on these charter flights, getting to their games and, performing at their peak performance, because they're not having to sleep in airports.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that, to your point, long time coming, long overdue. But I think with, we keep talking about it in so many different ways. I think with all the star power that was in the draft this year, it might have pushed this issue forward and to the forefront and made it happen sooner rather than later, or sooner rather than it's taken to get to this point. Because while there have been big names in the draft over, all the years that the draft has been happening, this is the first time I can remember in recent history where there's a lot of star power. And obviously, because of the NIL and the way, that collegiate sports has drastically changed, and now you see college athletes getting commercials and deals with big brands, it has kind of projected the star power and made it happen a lot sooner rather than, waiting until they get into the professional league. They're now stars in college. And you can't have Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, the list goes on and on. You can't have them in situations where they're already so notable. And now you're putting them in situations with regular people. And look, they are regular people. They're just tall and more athletic than, at least I am. Alicia, you're in the category. At least they're more tall and athletic than I am. But it has pushed it forward because there's just so many stars. And I feel like because of how college sports is changing, every draft is going to be loaded and loaded. I mean, could you imagine if they were still flying commercial flights and whenever Juju Watkins declares for the draft and you have her going through JFK Airport like a regular person with her bun, how that would, you just can't do it. It's just not going to work. So shout out to the W for making this happen. Long overdue.
Yeah, and these players are coming from chartered flights. They're coming from security. They're coming from, in college, these flights are chartered, and they're used to having that in playing after being on a chartered flight, all of those things. As an athlete, you're playing so many games, you're away from home so long. The people would think of this as like a luxury, but no, it's a necessity. You need to.
Did you see the Pacers game when Caitlin Clark was there, and how the woman gave her the sonogram of her baby to sign? Could you imagine having Caitlin Clark going through LAX when she can't even sit at a basketball game without just people surround? I mean, people were so close to her face. The camera was on her so many times that I would be afraid to even sneeze, because everyone's looking at me. To be given a sonogram, please sign my baby's sonogram. You can't have this girl in a regular airport. That's crazy.
You can't. And I don't know if you saw, but when she was at I believe it was the Dallas airport, they did a news story on how people reacted to Caitlin on the plane, and she was walking around with enhanced security.
Oh, wow.
because she needed it. And so I think that representation, I'm not saying it was the only reason for it by far, because people have been fighting for this for years.
Yes.
Seeing that definitely plays a part. People reacting to that, sharing that, saying that. And then also the money that is coming into the league, you can't deny that there's money now. That was like the biggest thing. Kathy used to say all the time that, it's just not feasible. We just, whatever. Now it's feasible. You can do it and you should. And they did. It's like I said, this was more of a reactive move than a proactive move by far, but I'm glad that they made it.
Before we move on to our next segment, I just have to say real quick, not related to flights, but related to Caitlin Clark. I saw the video circulating on Twitter with the reporter asking her if Bay was going to can you guys be normal? Can you guys be normal people? Is Bay going to be here? First of all, nobody talks like that. Literally nobody talks like that. Just ask her normal questions, be a normal person, stop being weird. Just please stop being weird. It made my skin cringe when I thought I was hearing things. I said, what did she just say? And I rewound it. Is Bay gonna be here? And even Caitlin was like, I'm sorry, what? Nobody talks like that. Stop it. It's annoying to me. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. I've been waiting. I've been holding that in for a few days.
Well, and I don't know if you saw that the reporter that was so inappropriate with her some weeks ago when she had her introductory press conference, they barred him from ever working with her again or covering her. And that is the way that it should be done. Absolutely. There are so many amazing people in this space that understand women's basketball and they understand the right questions to ask a Caitlin Clark or whoever they're asking. Don't insert people that don't know anything about women's sports into this conversation. Don't have them asking questions that make absolutely no sense and don't move the needle for this game. Get credible people that understand how to do this. We're covering women's sports. We should have always been covering them, but we're covering them in ways that we haven't before. Get the people that actually know what is going to move the needle in women's sports and what to ask in these rooms, in these press conferences, covering these teams.
Yeah. And don't be weird. Just be normal. Be a normal person.
Absolutely.
I can't.